You know, I didn't save a fortune. I collected stories instead. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to It Ain't That Bad. I'm glad you're here. My name is Mike, and today I want to tell you a little bit about me because if we're going to spend time together on this channel, you deserve to know where I'm coming from. I'm 69, almost 70 years old. I live on Social Security and a small amount of savings. I don't have $1 million retirement account. I don't have a big 401k. I don't have a carefully engineered retirement plan that financial advisors like to talk about. If you've watched enough YouTube videos, if you've watched enough YouTube, you've probably seen videos telling you that you got to have $1 or $2 million. If you don't retire with $1 or $2 million, you're going to be eating cat food. You're going to be eating cat food and living under a bridge. Well, here I am. And while I certainly wouldn't mind having an extra $1 million in the bank account, I'm also here to tell you it ain't that bad. Now, before anybody misunderstands me, let me say something important. I'm not suggesting at all that people shouldn't save. If you're young, absolutely save. Invest early. Let compound interest work for you. Your future self will thank you. But, life doesn't always go according to plan. Things like divorce happen. People lose jobs. Your kids need help. And medical bills are always showing up. Sometimes life simply has other ideas for me. I made a choice years ago. I decided I wasn't going to spend my entire life waiting to live. I wasn't going to spend 40 or 50 years counting the days until retirement while working a job I hated. So just one day, maybe, I could finally enjoy life. Instead, I lived along the way. I traveled a lot. I moved around. I took jobs because they sounded interesting. Some paid well, and some didn't. Some lasted for years, and others only lasted for months. But every one of them taught me something. I wasn't chasing a title. I wasn't climbing a corporate ladder. I was collecting experiences. Looking back now, those experiences have become some of my greatest treasures. I've worked around airplanes. Hell, I worked for NASA for a while. I've worked with technology. I've worked in music. I've worked with people from every walk of life. Some jobs were exciting. Some were just plain funny. And every one of them gave me a different story. And stories are worth something. I think somewhere along the way, society convinced us there's only one correct way to live. Go to school. Get a good job. Stay there for 40 years. And then retire. Then maybe if your health holds up, you finally get to enjoy yourself a little bit. That works for a lot of people. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that path. But it isn't the only path. Some of us chose something different on purpose. We traded a little financial security for a little more adventure. Would I have liked a bigger retirement account? Would I have liked a bigger retirement account? Of course I would. Who wouldn't? But would I trade away the places I've seen, the people I've met, the lessons I've learned, or the memories I've made? Not a chance in hell. Not for all the money in the world. Life isn't just measured by what's in your investment portfolio. It's also measured by what's in your memory and how you lived it. Now, don't get me wrong. Living on Social Security isn't always easy. You have to be smart about it. You have to budget. I watch my spending. Sometimes I say no to things I'd like to do, and I don't live extravagantly. But I've learned something surprising. At least for me, happiness has very little to do with how much money you have once your basic needs are met. It has much more to do with purpose, curiosity, friends, family, and health, and waking up each morning with something to look forward to. For me, that's what this channel is all about. Talking with all of you, making videos, sharing ideas, learning new things, and trying hobbies. I like flying drones and playing music. I like traveling when I can. I just got back from a 2-week trip by car. I drove cross country to Minneapolis, or actually not Minneapolis, Two Harbors, Minnesota, to visit my son and my granddaughter and my 2 great grandkids. I'll make a couple of videos later on about that trip. That was a lot of fun. It actually took a lot out of me. Traveling cross country by car, I love it. I've been doing it all my life, but when you're approaching 70, it's a little bit more difficult than it was in my 20s. So life didn't stop at 69. In many ways, it's become much more interesting. One thing I've learned is that experiences keep paying dividends long after the paycheck is gone. The job ends, but the story stays. The adventure stays. The lessons stay. And those things nobody can take away from you. That's really what this channel is all about. Over the next several months, I'd like to tell you some of those stories. Some are funny. Some are unbelievable, but some taught me valuable lessons. Others simply make me smile. We'll talk about jobs I've had, people I've met, places I've been, mistakes I've made, and what all those experiences taught me about growing older without growing old. So, we'll talk about retirement and living on Social Security, finding purpose in life after your career is over, starting over, learning new hobbies, technology, and travel, and maybe a few surprises along the way, because here's what I've discovered. Growing older doesn't mean your story is over. It simply means you've got more chapters already written, and hopefully a few good ones still left to write. So, if you're watching this and you've ever worried that you didn't save enough, or that somehow you took the wrong path through life, I hope this channel gives you a little encouragement. Your life isn't defined by one number on a bank statement. It's defined by who you become while you were living it. Could I have done some things differently? Sure, I could have. Everybody could. But regret is a terrible travel companion. I'd rather appreciate the road that I actually traveled than spend my days wishing I'd taken another one. Because every choice brought me here. And honestly, I'm pretty happy to be here. So if any of that sounds interesting, I'd love for you to come along on this journey. Subscribe if you haven't already, and leave me a comment. Tell me about one job, one adventure, or maybe one experience that helped shape your life. I read as many comments as I can, and some of your stories may even inspire future episodes. So, until next time, keep smiling, keep learning, keep living, and remember, it ain't that bad.